Alright folks, it is the end of the 9 o'clock turn and this is pretty much the end of the battle. The army of the Low Countries has been almost completely destroyed. The French are shifting now over to the left. You can see de Erlon's men helping out the Imperial Guard. The Prussians just unable to make any, even minor, dent against that Imperial Guard defence. I'll focus on the land of the Low Countries first. They have just been battered by this low morale modifier, and there is not much they can do. It is at a point where French cavalry are now charging these Allied units in square quite willingly and eagerly because of the substantial negative morale modifier that is applied to those Allied units in defence. Even with the morale boost from being in square, they still suffer and typically break or suffer heavy losses from those assaults. So what's happened here is D'Erlon's men pushing from the left-hand side, or the eastern side of that highway, have now basically met up with Ray's men pushing from the right or the western side. And you can see in the centre here, Wellington now, with his pile of lost officers, is almost completely defenceless. These are French units under those disordered counters who have advanced after an assault. You can see a number of French heavies in this area. The heavies from this left-hand side who were over on this ridge have come down, and they've met up with the heavies who pushed down through here, and they are in this area here. They've again been charging these British units in square. There are still, I think we can see, three fairly strong British battalions in square in that area. When I say fairly strong, some are down to 1 or 2 increments. They will probably not last one more turn. And I mean, the heavies won't, most of them charge this turn. They won't have an action next turn, but the infantry can finish off the job there. Wellington will be forced to leave the field. Out in the far right, Waterloo, his 6th Division, sorry, it wasn't Waterloo, it was Jerome's 6th Division, finally put flight to that very stubborn King's German Legion battalion that was standing around here. There is still, you can see some, I think they're light dragoons and some other Allied light cavalry scattered around this area. In fact, there's some Allied heavy cavalry further to the north, but they are, again, pretty weak, and there's nothing they can do at this stage. The French have, after 8 hours, destroyed, or 9 hours, 10 hours, destroyed the army of the Low Countries. And what this means now is that for the past hour or so, D'Erlon has been able to shift his corps out to the east to just back up the Prussian, the Guard in this area. It's really not needed because the Guard just have not been able to, with 3 corps working together, driving against the Imperial Guard, they just are not able to do any damage. Prussian artillery has, I guess, been whittling down some of those Guards' chasseurs out in the left, but in the centre here, where 2nd Corps and 4th Corps have really been driving with everything, they have barely made a dent. A few incremental losses among the French. D'Erlon's corps has suffered the most simply because of their lower morale, but the French Guard, sort of just on the left of that area, there's a Voltigeurs, Treileurs. They just put up a great fight against those Prussian chargers. You can see 4th Corps. They are disordered throughout. I mean, they did have one successful assault on the right there. That is a very rare occurrence. It is remarkable how unlucky they have been in their assaults. I mean, massive negative morale modifiers doesn't help. The fact that they start off with poor morale doesn't help. But even then, even when they roll to close, if one thing goes well, like their roll to close succeeds, they end up rolling poorly in assault. And they only just need one thing to go wrong for the assaults to fail. So you can see not much left of 4th Corps. This is that right-hand side of von Bülow's 4th Corps that I mentioned earlier. Just in that area there, that's all that's left. And 1, 2, 3, 4 of those stacks out of 6 are disordered. I mean, they're already weakened. They've lost a lot of increments throughout these units. But then you have the French defences. Light guard cavalry, or the guard light cavalry behind the lines, French heavy cavalry to the right of the lines, more of Erlon's corps who can now shift over if needed. Behind the lines over here, they have some more guard in reserve, some light cavalry behind the lines, French light cavalry out on the far left. First Corps couldn't organise themselves to get an assault going. They are too far away and at this point too demoralised to do anything about the situation. Even this, I mean, I guess this Prussian battery was doing some damage to the guards. They caused a few losses throughout the line, but again, not enough to force anything decisive. In order to sort of turn the tide here, well, there's a lot the Prussians could have done. I'll put that in a separate video. Things that might have happened to improve the Prussian and Allied chances in this battle. I'll do that all in a sort of summary video. For now, though, that's the end of the 9 o'clock turn, the end of the battle. It is now 9:20. It is dark. Now, there is potentially another hour or so to fight, but nothing is going to happen in that hour. So at this stage, the Prussians are going to slowly withdraw to the northeast along the roads from whence they came. There is not much to withdraw. I think Wellington, in the first instance, will head back north, and the French will retire for the night with the field under their control.